Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies, prequel to episode 60. My name is Tyler Lamb. With me are my co-hosts Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going?
It's going great.
And also Charlie Pixley. What's up, Chuck?
I feel like the web's a little darker today.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is there a reason you think that? Is that a sizzle for later? Something we're going to talk about?
Sense I have. I can sense the aura of the internet.
We've got a good amount we're going to talk about in this episode. Not only are we going to touch on something related to the dark web, we've all seen a handful of films before we're recording this. I feel like there's been just a lot of stuff content-wise that I've ingested. We've all ingested, and I'm gonna assign movies.
Wait, you're assigning movies?
Am I not? I saw movies the last two times. So
Did you?
I thought I was. Yeah, I saw
Okay.
Battlefield Earth, and I saw the one before that, didn't I?
Well,
You thought
maybe
you were
it's
assigning?
maybe it's just because like we're not in the same position anymore, and it's just throwing me off.
Let me look it up real quick.
Life of the Party versus Show.
Yeah, I saw Life of the Party, and I saw Battlefield Earth.
Okay,
So, yeah, I'm up.
Okay,
What
that's
did
fine.
you have in mind, Steve?
All right,
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was gonna pit you guys Hotel Artemis versus Superfly because they're both sitting at around 58%.
I've never heard of either of those movies.
Hotel Artemis is basically like a movie based on that hotel in John Wick.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was at first when
Yeah.
they were showing the trailer. And
Wait, that's a movie though? I
Yeah.
thought they were doing a TV show about that.
I mean, they
I
might
think
still
they are
be,
doing
but,
that.
But like,
Hotel
this
Artemis is unrelated. It just is the
look-
exact
it just-
same concept.
yeah.
Okay, when
And
you
then-
said based around, I thought you were saying it was like...
Oh no.
Okay.
And then Superfly, I believe, is a remake of like an old blaxploitation movie.
Superfly.
Yeah, Superfly.
Pootie Tang?
Got it.
I think I've actually heard of Superfly. Okay, so that's
no
crazy
Dolomite.
because the two movies I picked were Superfly and House of Artemis.
Hotel Artemis.
I thought it was Superfly and House of a Thousand Corpses.
No, then what'd you have in mind?
Porpoises.
We'll find
Let me just cross these out.
We'll find out in a little bit, but also to sizzle, we got stuff we like, movie news, and then to touch on it before we get going, we have an announcement. We're gonna talk about it probably at the end of this episode, beginning of the next episode, and in the next episode, just to make sure everybody knows. We are going to go on a brief hiatus.
We're all pregnant, so
Yeah,
and we're starting to show, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Like we can't.
You
we can
know-
no longer hide it behind large bags
Yeah.
and clothing.
The editors are getting pissed off. We can't carry boxes for the rest of the season in front of our stomachs.
If only one of us had done it, but like every episode, we're moving somewhere.
Exactly. And we're gonna take a brief hiatus. I'm sure we haven't discussed the exact length, but by
Like
the end of
minutes, probably.
and by the end of the year, I'm sure that we will be
I would think so.
we will
At
be
least
back.
by then.
And the thing is,
At
though,
latest by
I
then.
think the specific
good point.
thing that everybody listening now should know is it will probably be under a different name. We won't be under the movie versus
Flag?
Yeah, and when we are coming back, we'll probably put out a brief little thing on this RSS feed just to be like, hey, this is where we're at now, so you can go and find us there instead of
Sure.
just being like,
We will be more than
yeah.
forthcoming on
also-
all of our media outlets.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it'll be on the Facebook and things like that. So yeah, that we just need to take a step back and kind of reevaluate everything that's going on and try to figure new things out to try to get better stuff for you guys out there, better content for everybody, better content for us to produce, like for us to we want to be feeling like we're doing better. I'm using too much hands talking here.
Yeah.
Producing better content and that you guys are enjoying better, able to enjoy better stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to be stepping back for a few months. Not to worry, we'll be back for all you diehards out there. But yeah,
For all you diehard out there.
For all you Bruce Willises?
I think
No,
we got
like
somebody.
individual diehard.
I think we got somebody in Papua New Guinea. They love
Hell
it.
yeah.
They love it. They love what we're
Okay.
doing.
We apologize for the change.
But
they're
yeah,
gone.
so just yeah, they already turned off. But yeah, just a heads up. Don't be too afraid. We're not all breaking up. We're all still friends, unfortunately. with Steve.
What I don't know is that the podcast is going to keep going, and I'm just not going to show up next week.
Steve loses every episode.
It's just going to be a new podcast of Charlie and I talking about you.
That'd be a short podcast.
It would be like, I mean, we like him though. I mean, he's a good guy.
Remember that time we made that one joke because he said something and we twisted it into something else?
Oh man, we got him good.
Got him.
But we
just made a soundboard of me.
We still
previous episodes.
We still have one more full episode coming your way, and I know how disappointing it is to all of us that we are not going to 69 before we take this break.
Episode 69.
We're
definitely going to 69.
Which is a feat, which is almost content because there are three of us. So to do a 3-way 69, I don't know if it's been done before, boys.
It's 600.
I assure you, it had to have. People are fucking weird.
696 of that third person just lays there like shunned, facing away, foot to butt.
I was about to say they don't even get to do butt stuff. They just have their foot over at a butt.
They're just eating ass and grinding head.
Well, since you know so much about it, Steve.
Yeah, you can lead the way. So it's like a human centipede type thing. You know, the person at the end is
final sequence.
Well, actually, the person in the middle is the worst position you
Yeah.
can be in a human centipede. Never mind. What am I talking about? But no, the person at the end might be the worst.
They're eating shit from shit.
Yeah, but it's already shit. It can't get any shittier, really. But the other person's got somebody like permanently attached to their asshole too.
That's true.
Yeah, dude.
So you say that's the best position, or first would be
exactly. You're always attached.
The best position.
You're always attached to a butthole, and you always have somebody attached to your butthole.
Yeah.
You're living the dream.
You just become a vessel, like a passageway.
Exactly.
Well, okay.
And the front and the back can do all the mobility. You can just kind of drag there.
Yeah, and what happens in the sequel? I haven't seen it. Don't they do like a 9-way or something like
I
that?
don't know.
Like
They just make a full
Seriously?
circle.
Yeah,
And have them.
That's what it
have
is.
the first guy eat a bunch of food, and then just real quick connect them, and then just create like a hyperloop of.
Are you joking? I think
feces.
that's actually what it is. Are you joking?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, if not, excuse me, producers.
I don't know if I'm telling the truth or not.
Give us a call. Charlie has an idea. So
Trust me, they have the idea too.
So on this episode, you know, I thought that I should bring it to a point where we've talked about this maybe both on and off air. These movies, you know what? Oh crap! Give me 2 seconds, guys. Do a little talking while I get some real quick.
Okay.
I guess he'll go. He definitely won't grab the bingo thing because I have that.
Okay. Well, then you should probably take this home.
Okay.
Because there was a rogue bingo ball here
It
today.
worked out pretty well last time, though.
It did. I mean, after we pulled 6 balls.
Yeah, I almost asked you to make sure to bring that, but
Oh, well.
I came up with an idea. So wait, I'll do this. I'll give you guys the choice between
Nerve and Boy Next Door.
no.
How can I watch both of them, Charlie?
So
How can't I?
I've got a coin here, and I'm going to flip it for one of two things. Actually, you know what? Let's just flip the coin for both of them. Okay, hold on.
How does that work?
You know what?
Just let
Screw
him-
it.
just let him
Screw
do
it.
it.
Screw
He'll
it.
figure it
Do you
out.
guys want me to? Do you guys want to be able to get the coin to be a decider of who gets to pick what movie they get? Because there's 2 movies I have, and so say like Charlie, you call heads, and it's heads. You get a pick out of the 2 which to defend, or do you want it to be heads is one movie, tails is another movie?
I think that's better.
Yeah.
Let
Let
the
fate
fates
decide it.
Fate decide.
Yeah.
Okay. So whoops.
Okay.
So who
That's
wants
good
to?
stuff.
Yeah, should I get the mic to? Hold on, I'll get the mic to follow in the air the coin so we can hear it. So who
Flip
wants
it.
who wants to call it? Who wants to
Charlie,
call
you call it.
Okay.
You in there? Call
Sure.
it. Okay, and then 3. I'm sure the listeners will be able to hear the
The-
wind. Yeah, the
I'll make
wind
sure they do.
of it. I hear. Okay, so Charlie, you're gonna call it when it goes. I'm gonna
Yep.
put the mic on my the coin.
Yep. Tails.
It is heads.
Okay.
I don't really.
How does this play out?
Yeah,
Did you have
now,
movies
now that
assigned?
now that it happened, I don't really understand why you guys would call.
Yeah. Old Tails is what I get, I guess. No. So you just
That would be
ask
you
us.
picked.
This is
Yeah.
essentially a hands behind the back situation, but you flipped a coin.
At that point, yeah.
So give me a movie.
So Charlie, you get.
Well, if you didn't already have them assigned, now it's not random, but it doesn't matter. Make them hands
It's
behind your
whatever.
back.
Let's just do it.
No.
Okay.
You get Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Okay, I've seen that.
and Steve, you get.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Nice.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You mean I get to watch that again?
I knew that
This
both of you had seen
sucks.
it.
I've seen both of these, so
Yeah.
I think
Same.
that it's
in theaters
Same.
actually.
yes. Again, I think that we've talked about this on and off that I haven't seen either of these, and both of you have seen
Yeah.
these in theaters.
I've seen them both in theaters and then both on DVD. I have watched both of these movies.
What is
twice.
wrong with you?
I think
no,
he's a
what-
masochist.
What
or a
ends
sadist.
up what ends up happening is I go and see it with some people, and then later on people were like, you know what? I've never seen Dragon Ball Evolution. An entire group of people was like,
You
yeah,
just-
let's watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
Why
And
do
I'm
you-
like,
why do you
how am
just-
I the only person here who's seen this?
You cling to way too many groups of people. You need to start,
Just paring
taking
it down?
Yeah, you need to take applications at this point. Be like, hey, do you really want to be my friend? What can you offer?
In my mind,
Dragon Ball Evolution again? No thanks.
In my mind, I
Well,
feel
then
like
that makes me have to reconsider this entire relationship.
Hey, I'm giving you the signs.
The podcast is ending, and you have to watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
what does he mean? So in my mind, I initially think like, oh, fuck, I'm screwed because I've seen both of these and I really remember hating both of them, except for one of them had one good scene in it, and it was Dragon Ball Evolution.
It's the backflip scene or something like that, right?
No, it's the watermelon scene. It's funny
Oh.
to me.
I
but,
don't really. I probably.
I mean, it's 2 seconds, so it really is negligible.
well, Avatar has a character that has like watermelons that always gets.
My melons.
Oh yeah, normal
Oh,
melons.
for
my
real?
bad.
I don't think he's in the movie.
Oh, it's in.
Oh.
Isn't it in just?
It's
Is
in
it in
the- it's in-
Avatar? Or is it in just Korra?
No, it's in Avatar.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's in the movie.
I-
Like he's a reoccurring character in
Yeah.
the TV show, where because as they travel across the country, this poor melon vendor is just also traveling across the country apparently, and his cart is always destroyed by whatever's going on in
Sure.
like their episode,
course.
and he's always just like, not my melons.
It's really weird to me that the
Actually,
cartoon
it's
would
probably
take
just
the
my melons.
liberty to just make their own characters like that. When do you think that M. Night Shyamalan signed off on them to be able to just have creative freedom
I
with
don't
that
know.
movie and make whatever they wanted?
They probably didn't ask. Somebody should
as
tell
someone
them.
Which
who
is
watched all of
crazy.
the show, I'm in deep pain.
Really, somebody needs to tell James
you,
Cameron.
You haven't realized that The Last Airbender was a movie first.
Yep.
Man.
Yep, that's it. That's the problem I'm having right now.
And it went and saw
I
both
get
these
it.
movies. Did you go and see either of them under good intentions, or
No.
you
I
knew
mean,
both
I
of
mean,
them?
like when they were coming out, it was just one of those like, this can't be good.
Yeah, okay.
Like I wanted them to be good, but I knew for a fact that it just was not going to like both of the whitewashing stuff that was happening in both of them. It was just like it's not like there are plenty of Chinese and Japanese actors to like create these characters, but you're like picking the blandest of the bland person. Like they just all of the characters were just very unremarkable,
Yeah,
and it was just ridiculous.
yeah.
Charlie, did you have good intentions?
No, no.
right.
I went and
Well,
I
Charlie
heard
also doesn't watch anime, so you were
either
just
of
like,
them. So the Last Airbender, I just remember how it was just getting just totally
Just
destroyed. It's like, oh, one ticket, please.
well, for me, like the last Airbender, like already at this point, M. Night Shyamalan's reputation was in the toilet, and it was just like, oh no, and now he has that, like, because at the time,
This
it's
beloved
it's a
property.
beloved property, and when I watched it, I probably watched the entire series over the course of a couple days, so I like just binged it, and it was very recent to when the movie was coming out, so the movie was coming out, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna M. Night Shyamalan all over this. Like, what is going to happen?
And I think I saw Dragon Ball with some people that were fans, and Dragon Ball's got to be the one I know the most about out of all animes, because it's fucking
Yeah,
huge,
and
but-
the woman who plays Bulma, Jamie Chung, at the time, this was like her first acting job after being on like Road Rules or Real World, because she was
maybe
was
it
on
was Real World Road Rules.
I mean, no, I
Challenge.
think she was on one of them, and then she
plays
was on.
Bulma?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that
that
was
name
somebody
actually
else.
sounds. The name sounds familiar. I feel like I
No,
was
no, she
watching
might. Yeah,
Real
she
World
plays.
Road Rules
No, she
Challenge.
plays Chi-Chi.
Yeah,
She plays Chi-Chi.
yeah, okay, that
But-
makes much more sense. I was thinking that doesn't
What,
look
what
like
did you
her.
say her name is?
Jamie Chung, but she's
I know
done
who
she's
that
done
is.
more acting jobs since then.
She's Chi-Chi.
Yeah. She's done more acting jobs, and she's like not terrible, but at the time she was like the bar was so low for her because it was like one of her first acting credits. She had just come off of like whatever MTV.
Okay, so
reality
she
show.
was on The Real World in 2004, but then she was also on The Challenge, which
Right.
wasn't the real. It wasn't
What
technically.
about Real World
Oh.
Road Rules the Gauntlet?
It was. I
It was
think-
when they like made it into one house, and then they were doing
Yeah, I
like
think
it was
the
kind of
the
like
Gauntlet
Survivor.
the Gauntlet was like part of that. I think Gauntlet might have been the
Sure.
second season of the Challenge,
Sure.
which was called the Gauntlet or some shit. But yeah, I watched the fuck out of the show. Somehow it has 454 episodes. Jesus Christ!
But yeah, like at the time it was just
Season
like
32 premiere on Tuesday, July 10th.
but like at the time it was like, oh man, this stupid girl from this stupid MTV reality series is
Yeah.
now part of this like once again beloved
Yes.
property that people were like super excited to finally get a movie for, and like we're just like expectations could not have been lower for either of these.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, seeing it, it's like, oh, there's Piccolo. I know
Oh
him.
god,
And then it didn't really.
James Marsden as Piccolo. Ugh.
That's him.
What?
No, not Jason
fucking
Marsden.
way.
Okay.
No
James
way.
Marsden was Spike in Buffy, and he was Piccolo.
James Marsden.
Are you having
was
a
not-
stroke?
Yeah,
Is it- no,
James
it's
Marsden
James-
was not fucking Spike and Buffy.
I'm thinking his
You're
name-
talking. You're talking about.
You're talking about
goddamn
Brainiac from Smallville.
yeah, you're yeah.
Oh no, not
yeah.
James.
That's who you're thinking of. James Marsters.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
James Marsden was goddamn Cyclops.
Okay. No, I just got my actors mixed up.
He married the girl in the Notebook, and he never did anything wrong except be a great husband. But Ryan Gosling
I've never
existed.
seen
And-
the book.
Oh, what?
I think
We've talked about this before, Tyler.
Sidney Poitier played Old Man Roshi, right?
No, wasn't it Chow Yun Fat?
It's Master Roshi.
Oh yeah, he is Old Man.
And
though.
it's Yun Fat
Pervert.
Chow.
Oh,
And
No,
yeah,
that was Rosie
yeah,
O'Donnell.
he was just sniffing women's underwear
That
the
was
whole time.
about.
that was like the one thing where everybody was like, "But Chow Yun Fat is going to be Master Roshi, so maybe."
I can't believe that like rewatching that show at all. I can't believe that Master Roshi was like a liked character at all. He's
Oh.
so fucking rapey and weird.
Oh no, he's awful.
So weird. Like
I-
especially in Dragon Ball, like the
Oh,
show
he's
Dragon
way-
Ball. It's like
I don't know if they.
listen, old man, you need to take a seat. For
I don't
a
know.
second.
I don't know if they have it in what you guys watched on Hulu when you were watching it with Kevin. I know for a
It
fact.
was all the Japanese aired because it was.
Oh, it was Japanese because there's
yeah, it
a
was subbed. It
there,
wasn't
there's a
dubbed.
scene where they have to fight an invisible man and they can't fight him. So Bulma flashes Master Roshi, and so he gets a big nosebleed and sprays him with blood so they can find him.
I mean, well, there's what's his name? Oolong, fucking.
Oh
he
God,
uses
he's
the
just as bad as Roshi.
Yeah, he uses the Dragon Balls to wish for a
Pair of panties.
For, a fresh pair of women's panties, and it just like falls on his face, and he's in goddamn ecstasy. Like he's
No,
What a
it's
waste.
rough.
yeah, exactly.
Even if you're him, you're an idiot. Why would
like
you only ask
fresh,
for one?
a fresh pair
Yeah.
too, like not even worn.
Unless that is fresh to him.
Did the dragon didn't
Like
ask for
like-
specifics?
Like funky fresh.
like recently shitted.
Oh, Jesus.
That is
That's
fresh.
disgusting.
Let's watch these. Let's watch these trailers.
Okay.
So we just watched those two trailers plus another. We'll talk about the other one in a little bit. But yeah, they both they both look pretty bad. As someone who's I think I'm more well versed in the Dragon Ball universe than I am the Avatar universe. I've seen bits and pieces of The Last Airbender because of Landlord Kevin went through it all, because I think it's all on Amazon Prime. I think
that's good for me, because then I can watch it, because I haven't been able to watch it since it came off Netflix.
I think Korra is even on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
because
shit.
Kevin watched that as well.
I'm very excited right now.
But yeah, so I've seen episodes of The Last Airbender. You know, anime has not always been my thing. I think it's still, there can be good anime shows and stuff like you know, we were just talking about Death Note not long ago, how it started off really good and then kind of got shit.
I hear the end is really good though.
Is it?
Yeah, I hear it comes back.
We're only a few episodes away. Maybe we'll just power through. And it's been like a year. But yeah, they both look bad. I mean, and I don't think.
Spoiler alert: they both were bad.
I don't think that M. Night Shyamalan.
But now Dragon Ball Evolution is going to be great.
I don't think that M. Night Shyamalan has ever made a good movie. Don't at me about that, because you can't convince me otherwise.
I know there are M. Night Shyamalan movies that I do enjoy, but I also respect people not liking them.
I don't think that he can make a good movie, and I've been bamboozled too many times.
What about Devil?
I've been bamboozled too many times of people saying, no, this one's good, and then me watching it and it being shit. That I
haven't
have
seen
not
Lady
watched.
in the Water, but I've heard people say that I like that one.
That's like one of his most lambasted movies ever.
Did you Split? I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Nope, I stopped. That's what I was getting to. I stopped watching
sorry.
M. Night Shyamalan movies. I think after I saw Signs, I stopped watching M. Night Shyamalan movies.
I didn't like the movie, but there were parts of The Visit that I actually enjoyed.
I have a principle now. I have a principle that I have to stick by this principle now, and I have no. It's just and just because of the fact that his most critically acclaimed movies I did not like. I'm like, okay,
these aren't the good ones.
Yeah, it's like you're telling me that the what is it? The Sixth Sense is supposed to be his best movie, and I think it's shit.
I like it.
I've never seen it.
I don't think it's good. Obviously, I know that I'm one of the outliers in that. I just think, in my opinion, I
don't think it's as good as people say it is, but I enjoy it.
I think almost all of his movies rely on the twist of the movie, if that makes sense.
That I do agree with a lot.
And that's a shit story if it and even Split kind of relies on that twist at the end. I won't spoil it for people out there that still want to see it, but even that movie relies on that twist because that's all people talked about after it came. They're like, "Oh, what did you know though that it's actually this thing?" And so I feel like it relies too heavily on that last 5 minutes.
Right.
All of his movies do. Except for Unbreakable, which was just shit. In my opinion, I did not like
Never
that movie.
seen it.
Go to hell.
That was an after rebuttal. I appreciate it, and I will take it. I will take it with me to hell. But then Dragon Ball Evolution. I mean, you got one that's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You got one that's Dragon Ball Evolution. I
think my biggest when we were talking about the whole Piccolo thing, I think my biggest problem is like when I watch it, I just see like Jim Carrey as the Mask.
Oh, sure.
Like
That's
I see that and
That's
I'm
weird.
like, damn it.
That's weird because I see Jamie Kennedy
As the Mask, as the son of the Mask.
Yeah,
Is that how that works? Because I've never watched that movie.
I've never
like
seen it.
every other person in America.
I saw some point in his career where he was like experimenting, but
and let's say that all blew up in his face.
Hey, I will stand by Malibu's Most Wanted.
I thought I was gonna say, hey, no. The new guy was DJ Qualls.
I will stand by Malibu's Most Wanted. That obviously it does not hold up over the years, but that still has some shit in it that I find very funny.
And if you guys wanted to know, DJ Qualls is alive.
Oh shit!
We should make our own website.
Somebody should tell him.
Is DJ Qualls alive? Especially his agent.
Hey, that guy was in an Academy Award-winning film.
The Core?
also on Flow.
Oh, DJ Qualls was in that?
Yeah, he was the
He's
DJ.
the main
He was the
actor.
DJ?
He was the DJ. Literally, he was the
How
DJ.
poignant.
Yeah, exactly. He helped staple
Art imitates life.
Yeah, exactly. And it only won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. It's not like he.
Yeah, which he was the DJ
It's
of.
true. He produced "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp." So let's move on to. So we got a message from somebody who listened to the show. I hope because they messaged us and they said that this popped up in their feed. His name is Ryan. I'm not going to give his last name out just in case he's trying to be incognito. Who knows?
That is the browser he uses most frequently.
If you want to know, just go into people who like our page and just search Ryan. I'm sure he'll pop up. And
Okay.
and
Good luck scrolling through the list, though. It'll take you seconds.
And he sent us this trailer for a movie called Unfriended Dark Web.
Now,
I mean, he has to listen to the podcast based on the fact that he saw the dark web and was like, these guys need to know.
I mean, I hope he also sent it to Chris Hemsworth. Because
That's true.
Yeah.
As a Black Hatter, he has to know.
oh, he'd be pissed that it's coming out.
Yeah,
He's like, they're ruining all of my
scrambling.
plans.
Keep that shit on the hush.
Him and Benedict Cumberbatch are scrambling.
He's the surprise cameo in that movie.
Benedict Cumberbatch as Julian Strange is probably like, no, they can't find out Dark Web.
Did we watch Unfriended?
I did. I saw it in theaters.
I have not.
No, I've seen it, but I don't remember. I don't know if I watched it for this or not.
Yeah, we did not.
No
Nobody
one's watched it for this because
okay.
the only person that hasn't seen it is me. And
Gotcha.
I mean, I
You
guess
should
I
watch
could,
it.
I don't.
It is better than it has any right to be.
The second I saw that clip of that.
Did I hit you? I'm
No.
sorry.
The second I saw that clip of that kid putting his hand into a blender, I was
Oh,
like,
that's just-
well, this is a movie I
That's
want
like
to see.
this, you were like, this is nonsense. It should be his heart up in that blender
That's like the best part of the movie.
where he watches it
Spin into a beautiful oblivion.
I saw you double take to me, Steve. That's why I had to continue that.
Do you remember that part of the movie?
No, I was-
Tyler?
of
course
It's
I do.
hilarious.
Yeah, I saw it. Was that movie definitely was. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a good movie.
It was super
but it was
entertaining, though.
way better than it had any right to be, being the concept and title and everything
Sure.
about it. It was like, okay, this movie, and then yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, actually,
Is there a way I can? I might
kinda
watch
I
it
kind of liked it. That was
because
fun.
I'm sure we'll end up because this
Oh,
one
there's
actually.
a way to do anything on the internet, Steve.
But I don't.
Yeah,
wanna
you just
use
need
the
to go to.
dark
Get in
web.
this boat.
Yeah, get in this boat. Make sure you got a torch. So let's talk about this trailer because the dark web. First off, fuck all of this dude's friends because he took this laptop from the Lost and Found that had been sitting in the Lost and Found for over 2 weeks, and they're all like, "Oh, so you stole a laptop, you piece of shit! Wow, I can't believe you stole." And he's like, "What? It was in there for 2 weeks. What?"
I'm slightly on board. I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, dude, you should probably I don't know that's still something that you can do.
The value for me personally would correspond with the amount of time to wait. It's like if somebody left a car, I'd wait quite some time. If it's like a stick of
like
gum,
3 days.
like 10 minutes.
Well, I think that in my mind, I guess before he took it home, he said like, "Hey, this has been in the Lost and Found for 2 weeks."
Some people don't
See,
do
this
that.
is
though.
how
Dibs.
this is how they hook you to get you into.
That's
get
true. I gotta
asses
find.
in
I gotta
seats.
find out how
let's
he
be
took
honest.
it home.
The second you find any of that shit on there, I'm just the fuck out of there.
Yeah, take
but,
it back to the store and be like, "Oh, oops, I accidentally took this home."
But I know
Bringing it
nothing
back.
about what's on it.
Yeah.
Also,
exactly.
how can a computer have that and not be like impossible to get into?
Yeah.
Charlie and I talked about this yesterday. I told him. I said, I was like, 1, get a VPN, but then I went, wait, hold on. 2, if this computer is apparently just the hub of all
That is
dark
evil.
web, like it has videos, it has pictures, it has requests, it has people in a boat going down a sewer.
Well, that's what people think the internet looks like.
yeah,
They think it's like
exactly.
this weird dank cave
It's
that you just
it's-
open
it's
doors.
series of cave
It's Skyrim. It's Skyrim, but
Yeah.
you're finding videos.
Like, what's in this room?
but
a video of a girl chained to a wall. We'll close that one back up.
it has all this stuff. Yeah, you would think that it would have some sort of pre-installed thing that is like a VPN where it's
It'd be
like
like-
you cannot
It's
trace
just a
this
password.
shit.
Yeah, well, and it'd be like, what's the
QWERTY.
password? It'd be like, what's the password? And you type in a
password.
letter that's incorrect, and it'd be like, wiping computer. Like, just
Just a gun
immediately,
would form out of the front of the screen and just kill you.
Exactly. Yeah, and
just
it's and
immediately explode.
because in my mind, that's part of why it never got picked back up after the 2 weeks because this motherfucker lost it, and they're like, "Well, there's no way to track where this shit is."
Yeah.
Well,
And-
wipe
Or
my
he would
No,
like
and if you-
remotely wipe it or something.
Yeah.
and if you did lose something like that, like you'd be like, where did I go? Like he would be there again instantly.
Yep. Or maybe it's just
And
a
then-
setup for the game.
And then that goes to
Which
that
is
goes
probably
to
what it's gonna be.
That goes to what you were I think we were starting to say about the lost and found thing. If you worked at a place where somebody called in and said, "Hey, I left my laptop there," and you already took it home, you'd be like, "Yeah, give us 30 minutes. Be here in 30 minutes." You drive home, get the laptop, bring it back. Like, is this it?
Why is it
No,
covered
but-
in like Cheeto crumbs?
But
I don't
also
know,
That was
man.
there, dude.
But also, if this dude, the guy said it's at a computer store. So if this
Yeah,
guy
it was-
lost
Dude,
it
an
and didn't know,
internet cafe, dude.
Yeah, it was
no. But if this guy lost it, he'd be like, "Where did I have my computer?
Yeah,
Maybe at that computer location."
Hold on. Also, fuck this movie.
We have just talked ourselves so far away from this film.
Because this dude with the dark web like hub goes to a
using it in
goddamn
public.
internet cafe. Yeah, and
Hiding
using
in
it
plain
public.
sight.
Like, no, you would be in your mom's basement, like I said, with a VP. Like,
You'd be
subscribe-
war writing like H in fucking.
subscribe to a VPN where it's
And, like-
changing constantly.
Well, no, you'd be like war writing, like fucking H in Ready Player One, just like driving around unsecured,
Yeah.
like like wireless, and just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be here for 20 minutes,"
McDonald's free Wi-Fi.
and then just like driving across the country and never in the same spot.
You're not going to an internet cafe and just leave. Maybe you know what,
It
Charlie?
has to be
yeah,
because
I
it's
was
a
about- yeah,
setup. It
Charlie.
has to be.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, now
I mean, they even say we want to play a
ASI.
game.
Hey, wait,
Like, come on.
AIS. They got us.
No, what he doesn't
Ass
do,
and seats.
he doesn't scroll down far enough to find the last request, which is, we want to see a group of teenagers die.
Yeah, this movie just and that trailer gives away pretty much everything.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
I mean, the last one for the last movie
That's
gave away
true.
that money shot of the
Oh,
dude
man.
sticking his hand in the blender.
That's true. That's true. I will give the movie this that it is doing the same concept, but it's something completely different from the first one. I'll give it that.
Yes.
It's not doing
Which
a
is
whole
intriguing.
possessed- Yeah, it's taking it differently. The whole
They at least care enough to come up with a new concept.
yeah, the whole Elder Scrolls in a boat going down a goddamn little river with a torch looks ridiculous.
Don't forget to take your silver, because you know there's gonna be some ghosts down there.
Yeah, I hope there's no rats. Man, so those are our thoughts on that trailer.
So
I hope
thanks a
that-
lot, you
whoops.
dick.
Yeah, so Ryan, I
No,
hope
thank
he-
you for sharing
he-
that.
he
I
knew.
hadn't heard about it otherwise. So.
neither did I. Yeah, I think when he sent us that trailer, it was like the day it came out.
gotcha.
So I think it just popped up on his feed as a new thing.
Gotcha.
I feel like I might have seen that it was in
was happening.
development, but it's one of those things that just like goes
Just
out
washes
of
over
your yeah.
you.
You're like unfriended sequel, the dark. Oh god, that can't be real. Anyway, better learn more about Frank Bryce.
Anything else?
Frank Bryce was the
The one answer Tyler got correct.
the
At trivia, at Harry Potter trivia.
but let's I don't feel bad about this episode going long just because it's our last prequel for a while. But we we have
We have talked
about,
that one into the ground.
All that being said, looks great. Can't wait to see it.
All that being said, we will be seeing.
Go-
it.
Can't
yeah,
wait to
I'm
see it.
actually I think I'm gonna like this one more because like even though like I'm hoping that there aren't a lot of snuff videos that they haven't showed because that's not something that I'm into.
Sure.
But like this weird creepy suspense thing is my kind of horror.
You'll probably really like the first one then.
And I will
probably
give it
will. I was too afraid of, like, because with the hand in the blender, I was like, is that the tip of the iceberg of this gore?
Is.
Because I do not want to be.
No, I mean that's
like
that's everything.
It's the underwater portion of the iceberg.
There was nothing more graphic than that. I thought.
No, honestly, the same with the first one. You watch that trailer, pretty much all of the deaths are given away, but it's just the story and how it plays out.
The mystery is more intriguing than anything in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, then that actually makes me want to see it.
I will say that at least the stuff that they're showing, like these videos, are the kind of shit that you'd probably find on the dark web. Like you would probably find some like weird ass like. I say that it's like underplaying how fucked up it is, but people like having chained up, women in places and like like that kind of shit. I 100% buy all of that. I've seen like. I mean, as altered as they can be, I've read a bunch of screenshots and seen a bunch of stuff about like the actual dark web. I've never been on it. Don't arrest me, FBI, I swear. But I don't know what a Tor browser is.
Do you guys hear helicopters?
Don't forget to send me that login.
Dude, hey, no, it's all good. I've been using your Tor. Sorry, I've been using your.
C Pixley, and then password's just that spelled backwards. So.
Well, how the fuck am I going to figure that out?
Exactly.
But yeah, it does use that. I mean, that stupid boat shit was stupid.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, man, I can't believe that laptop was running a graphics card good enough to render that water and fire. But you know what?
That's true. Speaking of no,
it must have been a Radeon.
No, it's not good on this road. He just opens it up and it's just Bitcoin mining.
Oh, sweet. Just air it down every now and then so it doesn't blow up for overheating. But let's move on to, man, we haven't even gotten this far. Just content. What have we seen this past week?
Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry because this is going to be big for me. So you guys go first.
Hereditary.
Yeah, Charlie and I both saw the movie Hereditary separately.
Yeah.
Stop asking questions. And this has been
at the
like
same theater though.
This is at the same time
in the same row
next
to each other.
Yeah.
We rode together. But.
This has been like the big horror movie lately. Like this has gotten a lot of buzz as far as at least critics scored. Like it's at like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like people are, at least critics are loving this movie. So what do we have to say? We're not the big time critics. We're just we're the people. We rub elbows with you every day.
The people's elbow.
What do we have to say about this movie? Charlie, did you like this movie?
It was pretty good. I don't think it was as scary. I think I got fell a little bit for too much of the hype. I don't think it was that scary, but I think it was very dreadful. Mm-hmm. And I think they did a good job setting up a world that I don't want to live in, don't want to be a part of, and felt very eerie. And it was kind of exhausting sounds bad, but I don't mean it like it's too long. But like, oh, holy shit!
I think I know why.
Like you feel like drained.
Yeah,
and I think I know part of why you felt exhausted was because of how many long takes there were. There were a lot of long. Because I remember that was when we saw Birdman. We both looked at each other like, "Let's we want to fucking take a nap."
Well, and
like,
just
and
because I remember you saying that. Like,
yeah. A combination of just dread too, like
yes, all like constantly feeling.
I don't think there's a single glimmer of happiness in this fuking movie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's very bleak. dour, very dour, and very. Yeah, I would say. I think I'm more than just. It was pretty good. I kind of really liked it. Sitting on it for a while, I think that. The direction was really well done.
Absolutely.
It was directed fantastically. A couple complaints that I would just throw out on the table are a big one, and Charlie, you and I have talked about this, is that Toni Collette feels like she is giving her all, and so much so that sometimes it feels like she is kind of begging the other person in the scene to act with her, where she's just acting so well. And she's like, okay, come on. And it's in these long takes, too, where, like, near the end, where she is repeating a line, maybe, or something, to keep at least the interest going, so it's not just a camera movement and them walking, but it comes across as, like, act, respond.
I wonder if maybe they did that somewhat intentionally to play
I can
a
see
sense
that.
of like everybody else being kind of normal.
I can see that
that's
as
not
well.
really any spoiler.
And
or anything,
I will, and not to be too spoilery, because I just feel like that this may be a deterrent for all people that have seen the trailers and have been like, this isn't anything special. I just want to say that, Steve, you've seen the trailers. I'm sure you're assuming.
Well, I would just ask him first.
Steve, what do you think the movie's about? Just
from what I've gathered from the trailer is
so Bumblebee.
No, Toni Collette's mom dies, and I don't know if she had, like, they say that she had a special bond with Toni Collette's daughter, and it almost seems like she was. It almost seems like kind of like an update on like the voodoo sort of thing. Like this woman was like a witch or something evil or mystical, and it's like transferred to the daughter, or the daughter. It's either that or like the mother. I don't know, because they like say that the mother was severe and stuff. So like she's passed on some sort of attribute to Toni Collette's daughter, and it's kind of starting to bubble up now that her mother's gone.
You'll just have to watch.
I would say that's kind of. Yeah.
Just watching the trailer, sure.
That's more of I see, and I had this reaction. Somebody I worked with it was the trailer itself made it seem like it was just, oh man, check out this kid. This kid's kind of weird, right? And some like freaky shit happens around this kid. Oh, the devil, right? And that's not what the movie is.
Okay.
But I would say more of what you are describing is closer to what the movie is.
It was, I think it was just because, I don't know, maybe it's because I saw that trailer a bunch in theater.
Yeah,
Steve, I think you would fucking hate this movie the more I think about it now.
I was gonna ask about the gore.
There's nothing gory or gross that I can think of off the top of my head.
Tons of things.
I'm
scared sitting here
responding now. Like hearing what I said, like just then too.
I thought you were fucking with me.
No, I didn't.
No, it sounds like you were fucking with me.
I don't know if there, but I mean, there's no like somebody taking a pin and sticking in their eye type shit.
That was rough.
Like
for me.
there's nothing like that level of fuckery that I remember. I don't remember.
We could talk afterwards.
Yeah, sure. I thought it was really good. I think that it fell into a couple cliches. I don't think it was scary, like you were saying, Charlie.
Yeah, a couple. I mean, there are of course a couple jump scares.
Yeah, I think I got. Yeah, I think I got.
Yeah.
But
not as many as I was expecting.
But I mean, I guess that's where the line gets drawn between the critics and the audience, or people who. I don't know. I'm obviously not a critic, but I'm obviously not a normal moviegoer. I'm not saying that I'm on some high horse because of that.
Fucking
I'm just.
GA.
I have a degree related to film, so it's I think that I don't typically go like a movie that is just going out for scares is not something I will typically lean towards as far as like this is a good movie. Like it's just the sense of the atmosphere it builds and how it plays off of that. And I feel like Hereditary did a good job of building an atmosphere and playing off of that. And other than that whole acting thing, one thing that I kind of felt was there was a good amount in the movie where I thought to myself, what am I watching? Like why am I watching this movie? What is the point of this movie? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then it kind of did pick up a bunch of stuff near the end, like kind of quick.
Right.
It took a little bit too long to decide to develop something, and then when it did develop something, it was a little too quick. So it felt like, whoa, wait, we're doing this now? What is going on here? Which I kind of get it in the way it's done, but I feel like it could have been done a little bit quicker.
That's one of the only things I would have done differently. Is I probably would have left some things more ambiguous as to what happened.
That's true too. They did a lot of
a couple different paths they could have taken.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff where it felt like, hey, we're being ambiguous, but then it felt like, we need to explain everything to the people watching. And then
ambiguous up until
it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. and then I did feel like there was a lot of movie being focused on Toni Collette grieving,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I meant about like it's like grieving, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, things are happening, and it's like what? Oh, okay. So I would say go see it if you can. If you
If you
wanna,
like that kind of thing.
yeah, if you like, yeah, go see it. It's not bad. It's worth.
Another stay at home for Steve.
Another thing I saw was Baywatch. I watched that. It was on Amazon Prime, and yeah, it's shit.
Anything funny?
They're
Rock charming at all?
Other than the trailers, well, hey, okay, so The Rock refuses sex a couple times.
Yeah, that's nice. What a gentleman.
There is a scene where there's like a whole little bit where they're getting lunch or something, and the chubby kid, I'm not gonna say fat because he's not fat, he's just a little chubby compared to the Baywatchers. Where he's like, oh yeah, like I'll just get a salad, and then they're all eating, and he's eating a salad, but he's looking at, one of the girls just scarfing down this plate of spaghetti, this other girl eating this sandwich, Zac Efron's like eating a thing of nachos, like all, and they're all like talking about what's going on. He's just like, am I the only one that got a salad? And they're still talking. He's like, I kind of felt like you guys had to have a pretty strict diet to look like you do. And they just kind of ignore him, and I thought that was kind of funny. And then at the end of the movie, there's a couple lines that are funny where The Rock, like, those like puffer fish that are like poisonous?
Yeah.
He gets hit with one of those because like there's a thing where you're just like high off your ass before you're like totally fucked.
Right.
And so he's like high off
It's like
his
a
ass.
neurotoxin or something.
And he says some really stupid shit that was like kind of goofy. That doesn't matter. But before he comes back, Zac Efron is working with the chubby kid to do IT stuff and like hack into his system. And,
Oh God! Did they use the dark web?
No, but they like get onto this, and this is really fucking stupid. But it's one of the few things that made me laugh. Was the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm already in." Like what? Oh, I've got all this stuff, and I'm doing like a typing motion. He's like, I got all this stuff. Yeah, but this. Oh, we got so much dirt. Oh, we got so much dirt on this guy. And Zac Efron is like, dirt. What are we gonna do? Dirt. What are we gonna use dirt for? What good is dirt? And the guy's just like, it's like stuff against him, like evidence against. And he's like, oh well, why didn't you say so? And just the way Zac Efron delivered it was so good. He's like so pissed. He's like, just fucking dirt. That's it.
Just like, what did he think was going on?
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, the movie was bad.
Sounds good.
And I've watched the first half of the last night Transformers movie.
Dude.
Which Charlie saw for the...
No, he didn't see it for anything, just for his own personal.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is,
Atrocious.
I would say so far,
It's atrocious.
it's so much volume and no substance. There's so much in that movie, and yet there's nothing. Like, which is amazing. And to comment,
Robo Butler,
and
dude. Stanley Tucci Merlin.
And I hate to defend it or try to make sense of any of it, Charlie, but I know you have brought up the scene where he gets shot and he has robot bits underneath him. I think that I have an explanation for
Okay.
that. Granted, it is not...
No, it's granite and not metal?
It is not properly covered in this movie at all. But my theory is that it's that talisman thing that has been following him around, because right after that happens, and it's kind of like it's like moving stuff underneath him, and then a little bit later the talisman is next to him, and they're like, oh yeah, the talisman's with you, and he's like, what, how the fuck did this get here? And it like crawls up his arm. So I think that was the talisman. It was
like a gauntlet thing on his arm, right?
I didn't see it form he had sleeves.
Oh, maybe.
I think that maybe they were saying that was like the talisman blocking the bullet to make him live. I feel like a piece of shit for trying to make sense of this
You get
scene.
what I mean, though? If you just see it,
yeah,
like,
it
what
was
the fuck is even happening?
And honestly, this is me. I feel like I'm grasping at straws because I went into it.
Because if they really wanted to do that, they should have done it immediately.
And I went into it knowing that scene was happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, is there anything? And so I was like looking for an explanation. but oh man,
The
like
movie
I still,
is so terrible.
it's awful.
Even
It's awful.
like I'll still watch Transformers 2 or 3, and it's
the first one's good.
Of course,
I-
we all
Fuck the haters.
agree.
The first
I like
one's
the
good.
first
I don't
one.
even think there are any haters of like the first Transformers. It was pretty well received and everything. But then 2, okay, yeah, obviously none of them are as good as the first one, but 2 and 3 still have really cool scenes and stuff that are worth watching. This is just garbage.
Last night was just nonsense. I mean, so like there's I'm
I can't
surprised
even think of a single
that,
cool action scene.
I'm surprised that I've gotten this far and there's just been it's nonsensical. I can't really tell you. Literally, the only thing I can tell you is that Mark Wahlberg came to the UK to meet with Anthony Hopkins, and I am like an hour and a half in.
Did you get to the part where the robot butler is listening to Ludacris and driving angrily down
Who's
the road?
Ludacris?
No, like actually
listening to Ludacris on the radio.
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean, they already kidnapped that girl, which I guess was supposed to be funny. I don't know. It's just so like it's crazy to me that I've watched over an hour of this movie, and the only plot point that's happened is Mark Wahlberg. Cade Yeager has gone from point A to point B. You know what I mean?
You gotta
Like,
wait till he
it's-
does something with like this nuclear bomb and he jumps away from it in like free floating space and stuff.
Well,
It's
and it
really
starts
dumb.
out with Optimus Prime just floating in space, and I was like, wait.
Where else would he be?
No, I was like, did I miss
wait, no.
something? And yeah, because he
Yeah,
just
he flew off
away.
at the end, so he's I don't know, his thrusters ran out or something.
God damn it. Anyway, so Steve.
I saw many things this week. I
never heard of that. Isn't it good?
Yeah, I saw Ocean's 8, which it was pretty good. I'd say if you were thinking about it, like go ahead and see it. It's a fun heist movie. They kind of build this. They bring in a few characters from the old ones. None of like the main characters. Like you're not seeing Brad Pitt or anything in this one, but there are a couple recurring characters, and that's kind of cool to see. The only problem that I do have is that near the end of the movie, like probably about with a third left to go, James Corden comes in because he's the insurance investigator.
Okay.
At least we know that there's a main character.
Yeah. No, but he comes in and he steals the show. Like, his character is super funny. He has, like, some of the best lines. Like, he comes in and I'm like, they could have found a female to do this role. Like, it's not like there's not a female that could have handled this part.
You should probably write to him because I bet you James Corden would love to know that somebody thought that he stole the show of something.
But like he had the best lines, he had the funniest stuff. Like he's an insurance investigator who at times has claimed like he has caught both Danny Ocean twice and their father at least once. So like
Mr. Ocean?
He's kind of this person that's kind of like a real foil to them. And like when he shows up, everyone's kind of like, "Oh, okay, we might be in trouble now."
Yeah.
Now it's like phase 2 of the heist.
Was it a situation where it's like what's the female Ocean lady's name? Like
Deborah.
Deborah Ocean.
Mrs.
Deborah and Danny.
Ocean.
Danny and Deborah.
Denny.
I knew you were gonna do it.
Danny. Which Danny are you thinking of? The Room Danny or 12 Rounds Danny?
12 rounds, Danny.
Well, that's Denny versus Danny.
I don't think anybody listening to this podcast would think we were talking about anything other than 12 rounds when we say Denny. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny. Wow, what a good use of time. I don't even remember what the fuck my point was. Okay, yeah. Did they do the whole thing where it's like, oh my God, Deborah Ocean, she's 12 times more dangerous than Danny Ocean.
No,
Okay.
they just did like
Her
the
heist steal 12 times as many things.
I mean, she does her heist is kind of a bigger thing, but like
No, they
it's
were
not,
like, it's 4 times less effective.
no, there was never a point of like someone smoking a cigarette and putting it out and be like, we have to be on our shit, Deborah Ocean. Like there was never that. Like it wasn't.
I wish there would have been.
There was a lot of good fun stuff, and it held up with the ensemble of the female cast. It's just like they gave the best lines to this other character that like you could have easily found a female to deliver these lines in like the same comedic like timing that he gave. Because he's just so much more animated than the other characters that have been at this point.
Best part of the ensemble, worst part of this ensemble.
Aquafina is number 1, I'm sure.
Best part of the ensemble was probably the problem is that much like in Ocean's 11, there's so many characters that like some of them just get so much more time.
Sure.
So, best. So I'm trying to think through. You guys are making this into something that it's not. But the best is kind of a spoiler, actually.
It's
You don't have to
Sandra
say why,
Bullock.
just which person delivered the best performance. Like,
Which person delivered the best performance?
that's what I mean by
well,
best.
in
They
the-
could
in
not
the-
even
No,
be an
no.
important
Sorry,
character. but
sorry, I
just the
thought you
best.
meant-
Yeah.
So probably Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
Anne Hathaway plays an actress, is the actress that's wearing the necklace. Like
Yeah.
she, and then the worst is probly Helena Bonham Carter.
Gotcha.
She plays a designer that they kind of like
Yeah,
get
you
to.
don't have to say anymore.
do they do anything where they're like, oh man, you look just like Anne Hathaway?
No. They I was super happy about that. She's just a separate fake celebrity.
Funny.
She's not.
You look just like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Well,
No, they
it was
didn't do any
Ocean's
of that.
12 They did that.
Yeah, they did that in Ocean's 12, and it was god awful.
Oh, to what's
To
her
Bruce
name?
Willis
No.
with Julia Roberts.
Oh, it's Julia Roberts.
No, I
thought
mean
it was
tell
Sandra
Anne
Bullock.
Hathaway she looks like Sandra Bullock, and have
No,
Sandra
they never-
Bullock
Yeah,
say
They never
it.
do that.
Okay, and then what? You saw another movie. Wait, well, first off, yay or nay?
I say yay.
Okay.
I thought it was a good film.
You say that you really liked the album Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next movie I saw was Tag.
I'm hoping this is good.
Oh man, what's the tag line? Is it "You're It"? Oh,
Yes.
man.
No. It was pretty good. It was a fun time like going through this thing. The thing is that Jeremy Renner is like kind of isolated in like even in the film because he's the one that
Sure.
like is always getting away because he's so good and so on guard that he just distances himself from the group to the point that he hadn't invited them to his wedding because she wanted a May wedding and he was too afraid of them like bringing the game. So like he was so afraid of that he was like pushing them out of his life.
What? So
Sounds like an idiot.
Yeah.
I hope that it's funnier in the movie. The trailers were pretty funny, but then they had a bit at the end of the trailers that I thought was not funny and made me think that they were going to, like, they gave away all the funny bits, you know? Mm-hmm. I thought that whole hazelnut coffee thing was
that
stupid.
Because
Like,
hazelnut coffee,
that,
great.
Well, no, that whole bit, I don't like coffee, but that whole bit of him being like, I've caught him off guard. He thinks he caught me off guard. And he's like, hazelnut coffee? Who drinks that? What a little bitch. Like, I don't know.
Like
it just wasn't...
they only do it in a few scenes. In the first scene where you run into Jeremy Renner, he it's kind of like as he's going, they only when he's like on is when they kind of do a play-by-play because he's like this person,
well,
he's like, this person's it. I now can't contact
well,
their
what
hands. And like he's like going through his thought process of how to like not get tagged.
Okay, well, what I'm meaning more is there's more funny bits. They just picked a poor thing to end that.
There are some really funny things.
They're a healthy dose of Hannibal Buress.
There's a lot of like and there's so many Hannibal Buress one-liners.
Hannibal Buress
Great.
is in Baywatch.
Oh, nice.
Is he good in it?
He's pretty good. He also dies.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But there is one part of Tag that it felt in really poor taste. They have this whole like subplot of a miscarriage, and it just feels super tone deaf, and it's just like super awkward.
That seems like a really weird side plot for a movie like that. Even.
Yeah.
And Isla Fisher was hilarious. She plays Ed Helms.
Always great.
She plays Ed Helms' wife, and like the interviewer is like, so are you part of the game? And she's like, no. Like, you know, they made the rules when they were 9, so like the rules are no girls allowed. And then like one of them's like, it's probably a good thing because she is really intense. And there are like several times of her just like screaming at people. And then there's a guy at a bar, like the local bar from the town and from their hometown, I guess I should say. And he really wants to get in the game, and they just will not let him. And like they keep like anytime something happens, we're like, you know, maybe we'll let you in the game if you help us out with this. And
Can we all just finish your?
and that's like Isla Fisher's like explosive outbursts at times, just every single time.
I'd like to see it.
Can we all just take a moment of silence for the idea that you would be friends with since you were 9 with somebody like John Hamm.
I think so. I would be.
Like because he's immaculate as a person.
He's so handsome.
And in the movie,
he wouldn't stay friends with me.
yeah, and not only that,
Hook
but
him early.
well, not only that, in the movie
feel
he
obligated.
plays like the CEO or CFO, like someone pretty high up in like
In
a
an
Fortune in
advertisement
a Fortune 800 company.
Okay.
And like what happens is he's being interviewed about his position for the Wall Street Journal when Ed Helms comes to tag him for this year. Like
Okay.
because the movie starts off with pretty much Ed Helms getting a job as a janitor at his company to like sneak in and tag him. And the guy's like, so let me get this straight. Doctor whatever. You have a successful veterinarian practice in another city, but you want to get a job as a janitor.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh,
Is it-
thanks. No, I don't get
Yeah,
to laugh.
exactly.
No, that sounds good. Though.
No, but there's like some more things that happen.
So
there that's
yay or
funny.
nay?
I would say yay, but it's definitely on the lower end of the list.
Sure.
I would say.
And then what's the next one?
The next one was Incredibles 2,
All right.
which I loved.
That was great.
So,
It was
nay.
great. It holds up to the original. I would say that like some of the themes and things they go over puts it like if I was to like compare it to other super like comic book superhero type movies, I think it holds up, stands up against like some of the higher echelon of Marvel movies.
How does it compare to Spawn?
It beats Spawn.
What about Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Definitely beats that one.
Now I know you're joking.
I mean I would say it's not quite to like the level of like Winter Soldier and Black Panther, but it's like better than a lot like the majority of Marvel
Sure.
movies as far as like superhero
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. So what do you, yay or nay?
Yay forever.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting. We don't have a single, object to decide whether or not you dislike any movie.
Do you think
I'm a pretty casual audience.
should I rewatch the first one again before I see it? Do you think? Or no?
It
I mean, I
wouldn't-
got it pretty.
Don't
well.
bother watching the first one. Don't bother watching the second one.
It wouldn't hurt because the second one like it picks up at where the first one leaves off.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I can remember it pretty well. I think.
I mean,
so. Okay.
Jason Lee. Yeah.
You don't really need too much other than the fact that you need to remember that at this point in time, none of the family knows that Jack has powers still.
I thought. Oh, in the credits of the first one, you just see that he has them, but nobody witnesses them, right?
The babysitter
that's right.
saw it all,
He's
but like they
acting
just don't
weird. Yeah.
talk to her.
Sure.
And so like at the point of the movie, they are under the impression that the baby has no powers.
Gotcha.
So that's just something that like when you're watching it, they kind of remind you, but like you just don't think of it.
Does Syndrome come back in any form, or
No,
would that be a spoiler?
he got sucked into.
Well, I
a
remember that, but I don't
jet
know if maybe he'd be in like some computer program or something,
No,
like
no.
in Winter
Dude, he
Soldier.
got sucked into Scientology.
Oh, fuck, dude. Well, then we'll definitely never see him again. Be more likely to see him again if he got sucked into a turbine, I think.
Well, that would never happen because his son is named Pilot Inspector and probably does so.
What?
Jason Lee's son is named Pilot
gotcha.
Inspector.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sucks. Jason Lee's a Scientologist, but he also is like a forefather of skateboarding in a way, which
And
anyway. And My Name is Earl. Yeah, he's a forefather of My Name is Earl. We all get it. He's Earl.
That sounds cool, though. I'll probably
He is the one whose
see
name is Earl.
at least a couple of those. So.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess you got 4 yays.
Sorry, I enjoy
No,
movies.
you had
I
you,
enjoy
you had
movies.
3. I mean, we both said
I want to see
Hereditary.
it. I was planning on seeing at least 2 of those.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Tag is a definite on the list for me and the missus.
All right.
And then what was the other one besides
Ocean's
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a guy. I just haven't seen any Ocean's
Yeah,
movies.
I just haven't seen the other
I
Ocean's
just
movies.
I
I've
just
seen
do
one of them.
enjoy I do enjoy a heist movie.
Sure.
I have as
They are
much
good.
I have as much interest in Ocean's 8 as I have on Oceans 11, 10, and 12.
All right.
Is
There
it
was no
11,
Ocean's
12,
10.
13.
It was 11, 12, and 13.
Oh, it was. Oh, see, look at that.
You fuck.
See, I know so little about the series. I'm gonna accidentally pick up the
now they
Rat
can-
Pack version of that movie with Frank Sinatra.
But see, me and my friend were thinking since they did Oceans 11, 12, and 13, they now have room to go 8, 9, 10, and link them up.
I'm sure that was intentional.
I mean,
right?
I'm
do they
sure it
mention
was.
any of the other ones in like what order it takes place in, or no?
No, I mean, this is just afterwards because
Well, isn't Sandra Bullock in the other Oceans movies?
I don't believe so.
Oh, but isn't...
It's just Julia Roberts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. Okay.
But at the
See,
beginning,
look at how little I know about any of this bullshit.
at
So
the-
Julia Roberts is in this movie.
No.
Was she
she's not in Ocean's 8.
Sandra Bullock
in Ocean's 8. Okay, so I
Yeah,
had
Sandra
that right.
Bullock's in Ocean's
but
8.
she's not in the
She's
other
not
movies.
in any of the other ones.
Okay, so
you had said
there's
Ocean's 11, I think. That's
there's
what we were
no
confused at.
connection between this movie and the other movies.
Other
Yeah.
than the fact that
They're siblings.
That they're siblings.
Danny
And
Ocean and Deborah Ocean.
but
Danny
she
Ocean is
doesn't
George
show
Clooney,
up at
right?
all.
she's in jail. Like she says that she's been in jail for 5 years.
Does
she's
who's
in the
the
clink.
Ocean in the Oceans movies?
Danny
Ocean,
Ocean,
George
Clooney.
Clooney.
Is he in this movie at all?
No, the movie starts out with her going to his grave.
Okay.
So, but she's like they say he's dead, but
That shit
I'm
could
not.
obviously be fake.
Yeah, I mean
Fucking
he's
movie
a
built
Well,
on
I mean,
heist
that
well, he's a
shit.
famous heist leader.
I know that you didn't stay for the after credits, Steve, but I know that there's that scene of his hand coming out of the grave.
He's in a mausoleum.
Yeah, out of the wall.
Even more impressive.
Wait,
the fact
hold
that
on.
He was able to turn around.
Hold on. I'm supposed to believe that George Clooney is Jewish.
I mean, people there are mausoleums for people aside from Jewish people.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cannon.
No, oh, yeah.
Well, as in Nick Cage is being
canon.
buried in the Nick Cannon
Yeah,
mausoleum.
that's part of the Nick Cannon universe.
Well, we need to jettison all of this.
So yeah, all the movies we saw apparently, well, except for Baywatch and on the last
Yeah,
night.
so we got some nays.
That's true.
2.
Yeah, so moving on to news. Charlie, I see you're pulling up something. Is that your news that you're pulling up? Or
Yeah.
should I move?
So my news
Oh,
is that
okay.
we
The way you said that, I thought it was sarcastic.
No.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
my news, both my news and things I like will kind of merge, and just that we finally got some information about Aquaman, that movie that seemed like it was probably never going to come out.
In limbo.
But now it's like, oh, wow, they actually have stuff from it. And
Wait, Aquaman?
yeah.
I didn't know it was in limbo. I always
No, not in limbo, just we haven't seen anything from it. It
I
comes
got you.
out.
But
and
isn't it supposed to be December that it comes out?
Yeah, I just feel like usually for
half a year.
for comic book movies, they've been releasing stuff.
Well, and like
a
the
little more
last
in advance.
the last time that like not they like these people specifically, but the last time something like this happened where we weren't hearing anything about it was Solo.
yeah,
It was just like them trying to hide it.
yes, it's like, well, what's going on? But now it seems like they're going to start ramping up. We'll get the trailer at Comic-Con, but just seeing some of the artwork and some of the stills looks cool.
Yeah.
And I really like that they've confirmed that all the characters will be riding like either giant seahorses or giant sharks. And I think, I can't remember if it said Volca will be riding a giant hammerhead shark or some sort of like hybrid crocodile. And that's going to be Willem Dafoe riding that underwater. It will be pretty cool, I think.
And
I'm
hopefully
really
you
looking
hear
forward to
like
that.
during while it's like going through the ocean, you just hear
I thought you were just going to say, don't tell Harry.
what are
you
whoa,
talking
he
about?
doesn't say it like that. He's like, "Don't tell Harry."
And then dies.
The movie's a masterpiece.
So my news is
I
just
thought you were
that.
going to say
Let's not
spoilers.
undercut
I was waiting for
nobody's
Tyler to
shitting
look at
on
me
it.
and be like, spoilers?
Hey,
Uh,
don't tell Harry.
So basically, my news is that we're finally just getting stuff out. There's stills, there's official like character portraits and everything. Finally, get to see Nicole Kidman and her get up and stuff.
Right.
So I'm intrigued, and
Yeah, I
I want
haven't
to see
seen
more.
her since Eyes Wide Shut, so it's real.
You didn't even see her then.
Yeah, because I followed the directions. Of,
How wide is shut? I don't get it.
Steve.
My news is that in one of the things that always seems kind of confusing,
The
Monty
relationship
Python-
of,
No,
of
no.
Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise.
no, God no. Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail was turned into a stage production Spamalot, which
Yep.
is being turned into a film. So,
Bo-
a play based
Wait,
on a
hold on. Spamalot is based off of Holy Grail? I thought Spamalot was its own thing.
It's a weird thing because it's kind of like the same story but told differently. Where like the Lady of the Lake comes out and gives Arthur Excalibur and like complains about how she wasn't in the movie, or
really
like it's a very strange thing.
Huh. See,
Or maybe it's just like telling of like the origin of Arthur.
Yeah.
So it might be like going back for a new thing.
I was just always under the impression that it was its
Nah,
own thing.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
tied in for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
But they're planning on making a movie, and
Interesting.
they are approaching Benedict Cumberbatch, Peter Dinklage, and Tiffany Haddish. They haven't
Wait,
said
how
anything.
upset is Tiffany Haddish going to be during this movie?
She may like the only female role they've talked about is the Lady in the Water, so she might be the Lady in the Water who then complains about having a small role.
As long as Tiffany Haddish is like super pissed off.
She has an entire song about her being pissed off, so pretty pissed off.
All right, good.
So that's my news, is that like they're turning this production that I've always wanted to see but have never really had the chance to.
You know what would be kind of funny? Sorry to cut you off, but
No, that's fine.
You know, it's related to this. I mean, I don't know how insensitive this sounds, but it would be pretty funny if Peter Dinklage played a character that was of normal height, but he was just on stilts the whole time, and then it became a point where like his robe came off and he had the stilts underneath him. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like that would I could see that being a Monty Python type movie. You know what I mean? Like where it's obvious because they always play
more that he gets his legs cut off.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's because it's always obvious that like they have dudes playing the female characters. I feel like they would play heavily off of like a little person obviously being
you do know if he has stilts, he will still have small.
Yeah, that's part of the obviousness. Okay. Like his body proportions are all still the same, but he's yeah. Like I feel like Peter Dinklage would be somebody who would be like totally down to like do something as like ridiculous and stupid as that.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's off the table because, like you said, it's Monty Python. Literally anything could happen.
So, Steve, I think the point you're trying to say is that this is interesting because this movie is kind of like the Doritos Locos Tacos flavored Dorito.
Yeah. Yes.
And that it's the taco, and then.
It's a derivative of something that it's a derivative of.
Yes.
So basically, I'm going to watch this movie and be like, wow, this surprisingly tastes exactly like a Doritos Locos Taco.
And it's good.
Yeah.
That is odd, though. Is anybody tied on from
nothing?
John Cleese or anybody to
not that I'm
oversee
aware of.
anything?
I feel like if they use the Monty Python name, they have to get like that. Is that a...
I don't know what their rights situation is. I don't know if it's with the guys or with the production company.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. No, that's interesting. No, I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. So, okay, well, mine is a little less exciting. It's Den of Thieves 2 has been greenlit, a movie that I had to see for the podcast.
Which now I'm going to see.
O'Shea Jackson.
Yes,
Jr.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. is
because you know I'm a sucker for a heist movie.
Yes. He's in talks to return.
What about Fitty?
Well, so Gerard Butler is on board. Curtis Jackson is producing the movie through his G Unit Film and Television banner.
He can fucking be in it while he produces it.
That's mine.
He can produce something for that.
That's my news.
Is serious IRS trouble.
My news is that 50 Cent has his own production company called G Unit Film and Television.
That's great.
Good for him.
Are you sure it's not Gun It?
What's the name of his?
Okay, that was really good.
Stupid.
No, I fucking loved that joke.
Let's just move on. So stuff we actually like. Do we want to start with you, Chuck?
Sure.
You start with me. Let's go with you.
So again, tied into Aquaman is that something I like is that they finally show what what's
Black
his name?
Manta?
Yeah, Black Manta's. I don't know why I've just lost on it. Yeah, they show his helmet, and at this point, the DCU is so fucked up. It's like fuck it, just make it look exactly the same, and let's just have this dude go down there and shoot big ass laser beams out of his eye beams underwater, and fuck it, yeah, it'll be great. It looks great. It looks exactly like in the comics, which looks ridiculous. So screw it. I'm happy to see it. And I was glad to see it wasn't like some streamlined, like tight thing, and like blah blah blah.
Right.
They went full anti X-Men, like. Nope, this is just a big ass fucking spaceship on his head.
It's funny that like you said, the DCU has gotten to this point where it's almost just like, okay, whatever, do whatever the fuck you want. Like just James Wan, you're a good director, you got credit. Here's Aquaman, just go.
Speaking
do it.
Speaking of which, I don't know like how big of news this is because I know we've talked about it a little bit. I thought you were going to use it for your news. Was that they're talking about that there is a Snyder cut somewhere.
Yeah, there have been talks about that still. I don't know. That's just going to be a time will tell situation.
Gotcha.
You know.
Sorry if I stole your thunder
even if we ever got anything like a Snyder, you're talking about Justice League, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Even if
I might have been
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it was just
my bad.
shit.
Guardians.
Oh yeah, Legends of Ga'Hoole. If we ever got a real Snyder cut of Legends of Ga'Hoole, then, but no.
Anyway,
Sucker Punch. If we got Justice League.
you're going to continue on with something.
No, that was about it. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it was
fingers
Justice
crossed,
League
I'd like to
or
see it, but-
BVS.
Yeah, but if I think we've already gotten the Snyder cut of
Yeah.
BVS,
Okay.
but if we get a Snyder cut of Justice League, I don't know if it's anything that's going to be like finished as far as.
Right.
I'd still like to see it, but I don't know if that'd just
I'd
make
be
me more
more-
butthurt almost. Like,
I don't know. I'd be
This
more.
could have been fleshed out.
I would be more interested to hear. I don't know if I care enough to like see it all at this point. I'd just be interested to know from even just him and Joss to both confirm like, yep, this is what I was gonna do.
Yep,
This is
we
what
were
I
both fired.
Yep, we both were in a position where we were fucked. Like Snyder was like, this is what I did, and Joss was like, this is what I took out, this is what I put in, this is what like if it was just some like. Yeah, cool. I just want to know because it's just some stupid bullshit
Yeah.
behind the scenes. I mean, I'm not saying the movie could have been would have been amazing with what Snyder did. But
Would you rather have an unfinished cut of Snyder's Justice League or the 4-hour cut of Man of Steel?
Oh my god, 4 fucking hours of Man of Steel.
Oh man.
I love when the Pixies talk about like superhero movies. They just get so
Count
excited
me
about
in.
things.
I'd rather do Justice League, I guess. If it's under 4, I don't know if I want 4 hours of anything. If it's not Lord of the Rings.
I would love to see what was in it though. Because that's
Yeah,
like
see,
whole
that's-
other storylines.
That's what
there.
I'm saying. I don't know if I would rather
That
just
is a
read.
lot of
I would rather
ground
just
to
read the
cover.
script.
Yes.
I would rather just read the 400-page script or
I'd
whatever.
rather just watch it at that point.
Yeah, I
It'd
don't
take me
know.
a while to get through a 400-page script.
Well, because I just
Like,
skip
I'm-
over the stuff I already knew was in there.
You could just
Yeah, I
fast
guess.
forward through it.
Yeah.
Anyway, fair enough. Steve, what's something you like?
My friend told me about the show that was on Disney XD called Gravity Falls, and it was
yeah.
awesome. It's kind of
Heard
like
a
one
lot.
of those made for kids, but has like adult themes and stuff. Like there are some terrifying scenes in it.
I
Oz.
remember it was something that there was a lot of like theories about like how it was like
There's-
piecing together puzzle pieces.
No,
stuff
like
that,
at the end of every episode, there was like a cipher that apparently at some point, like if you put it together, you could go to a place and there was something there for you. Like there was this whole big thing.
like it was like a website.
No, I think it might have been a physical location that if
Really?
you like actually went there, you could find something from the show.
That's crazy.
But it's a long, like 2 seasons, half-hour episodes. I watched it in like 2 days. But it was just like this big, crazy. In the beginning, it's more episodic, but in the second season, it kind of follows a big, more overarching plot. Basically, this kid goes to his great uncle's for the summer in like this weird town in Oregon, and it's just like this weird thing. And he finds this journal, and it goes over like all these supernatural things that have been happening in the town, and it's got supernatural beings and things like that. And he's just kind of like exploring the woods and stuff around his uncle's house, because his uncle's house is a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack, and like it's got all these like fake things, but he keeps finding all these real things out around it. And then it becomes this story of like who wrote the journals, where did they come from, like what else is going on that people don't know about.
Is
And
this live action or
no, it's a cartoon.
Okay, I didn't know.
I've heard really great things about it, and I know that it's something that like I I think it's one of those. You said it's only 2 seasons. I think it was something.
It's 2 seasons of 20 episodes each.
Where the guy was like, "No, we're doing 2 seasons," and I think
Yeah, he
Cartoon
did.
Network or Disney, you said, was like
they wanted more,
and he's like, "No, I got 2 seasons. That's all I got."
No, he just planned because he didn't want it to get stretched out. He's like,
Yeah.
I have a conclusion at 2 seasons
So
that
it's-
I want to do.
You're done with it now.
I'm done with it.
Okay.
And
Did
I really enjoyed it.
Were
And
you happy with the ending?
I was happy with the ending, but I want more.
Gotcha.
You know, like
Well, that's good, I guess.
Like
Okay.
It's a good ending.
it kept the storyline,
Mm-hmm.
but like more could happen because at the end of the show is him and his twin sister, who is voiced by Kristen Shaw, and
They're like they do a real Jamie and Cersei.
yeah, no,
But hey,
like
you said
but
Disney Triple X, right?
they're there for the summer, and the end, the last episode is them getting on the bus to go back home to their parents in California.
Okay.
So like it finishes up what the story was telling, and there is talks. I have heard, my friend told me that a comic might be coming out at the end of July of like a new story arc. I don't know how much it is or what it's going to do, but it's just going to be more in that world, and I'm excited because I loved it. There is like this unrequited love story of him having a crush on
and
the
his
girl that
twin
works.
sister?
No, it's the girl that works at the shop at his uncle's shop, who's 3 years older than him. He's 12, she's 15, and he's got this huge crush on her. And at some point, he confesses to her, and they kind of like talk it out. But he's like, I know I should get over it, but I can't. Like it's a real show at times, despite it being like completely ridiculous at other times.
No, I get you. Sounds interesting. And I mean, is this one of those things where it's just now like catching fire with all types of people? Or
I think it had a pretty big following. I had heard people talk about it before. My friend just happened to watch it more recently, and he was like, "Steve, I know you would really like this. You should check it out when you have the chance to watch something."
Gotcha.
Yeah, I knew about it during its second season. I just because people because of Reddit. And
What is
stuff.
the age range for Disney
It's
XD?
I don't
it's
fucking
supposed to be
know.
for. I think it's like the young,
Teenagers
like the
or
young.
something,
It's not quite teenager. It's probably like the
I don't
8 to
think
12
I don't think
range.
Disney XD existed
Yeah.
when we were all kids.
I think it's the like the you've graduated from like the Disney Channel cartoons to like now you're like your young adult.
I guess like
early
today,
tween
like
sort of
Lizzie
thing.
McGuire would be on XD.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. So do you want to talk about? I don't know if you're
No,
done.
that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it, and I was
Intriguing.
it's nice that it had its own ending planned,
Yeah.
so that it didn't draw out or stop
Exactly.
abruptly or anything like that.
Yeah, and then to go into something I actually like, I feel like just like we were talking about the content of stuff we watched, I feel like there's a lot of stuff since the last prequel episode that I could throw out there to be something I actually like. I'm just gonna pick something that is I guess is the most recent, and that is Splatoon 2. I got it. It was it was on sale, and I was like, I feel like I might like this. Went in on it. I was telling Steve earlier that there's something about just the concept is to just cover as much area with your team's paint, pretty much, and there's something just satisfying about covering areas with your color paint, where it's like just doing that and the games are like 3 minutes long, so they're really short, and then to get into a game is so quick, and it just works out really well. And then moving around, and it has like the gyro controls for like everywhere pretty much, which was a little bit getting used to start. But what you can do is if you hit the Y button, it kind of centers it, so it's like, oh, this is the
Home point.
the ground zero of like where you're holding your controllers, and you can switch that obviously from any point. Like if you're moving, you're like, oh no, now here's the comfortable spot. Why, and then there's kind of a single player where you do different like little trials or little whatever. You go through a course, and then you fight a boss, and then there's also a side thing called like the slalom run or something like that, which everybody was saying that it was awesome. I mean, it's not bad, but it's only open certain times of the day. Mm-hmm. They also change up the maps throughout the day. But I mean, it's like a 4-player co-op kind of thing where you fight bosses and try to get these things, which is fun. But the way people talked about it made it seem like it was like the best part about the game, and why is it only open these hours? Because that's all I want to play when it's open, and that's not been my experience so far.
Maybe do you have like any online friends that you play with?
No, and actually, I've heard that makes if you have people, because the matchmaking with friends is apparently real shitty.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually better if you don't have friends that play the game, because getting somebody and actually doing it is just not conducive of. All right. Yeah, for whatever reason. But yeah, I've been enjoying that, and like I said, there's a bunch of other stuff on the list since then. A lot of music, a lot of other games, whatever. But Splatoon 2 has been very fun and cathartic in a way of just splatting paint on the ground.
Cool.
So, anything else?
Well, you mentioned that it's not something you'd think would necessarily be fun, but then I always just think back to who the fuck would have thought Monkey Ball would be a good game?
That's true.
These games are great, and the concept sounds
super
extraordinarily stupid.
And I think in his video he kind of doesn't talk lightly of it. He doesn't think it's that good of a game, but Donkey is a popular YouTuber, and his Splatoon 2 review, he says it's like two people got together. These people got together, and they're like, well, you can't aim at anything. Like, it's impossible to aim at anything. You can't aim at certain people. Oh, fuck, we should just make it so that you just can aim at the ground. And we did it.
Even if you suck, you're still doing something productive.
Yeah.
The target is just everywhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, that's I don't know. This has been going pretty long. We've covered everything. I think we're good, right?
All right. Yeah,
I think everything ever.
Yeah. So again, our last prequel episode for a while. So revel in this content that we gave you.
Stay on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, for next
Dude,
week.
we gotta hit the checklist like Bush, Lincoln Park.
all the hot words.
Oh, cumbox.
Jizzbox.
Jizzbox.
Jesus
Shit.
Christ.
Yikes.
Unsubscribed.
Doesn't even know his
They
own.
really lost me with this one.
Doesn't even know his own continuity.
Mickey Rooney. Oh, what you already mentioned. Cumbox.